I'm good.
What is going on, social media family? Corey from Sugar and Bar, and I got a very special guest for you today. I got my man Lee. Lee, what is going on, brother?
Just shaking it up and diversifying my dance portfolios since COVID-19. That's what I'm doing, Core. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream, man. So look, for those of you who do not know, may not know, my man Lee runs a huge, massive DCBX Global on the moon. They dance everywhere. You want to dance, Lee brings it to you. And he's branched out. But what he has now, what we want to talk about now, is Lee has created his own hot sauce. Lee, what in the world's going on there, man? You got your own hot sauce?
Yeah, so my wife and I are big foodies. As Latin dancers that have traveled to over 800 cities across the world, we have eaten in many restaurants. And both my grandmother and my mom, just kind of at an early age, and for me, food was family, and that concept of bringing people together. So when COVID hit, the entertainment industry was the first to close, and probably will be the last to reopen. And we took a hard look. We've had other interviews where we talked about all the digital products that we created during that time, but we wanted to give that feeling of what happens at a DCBX event, the energy, the excitement, the party. And our slogan for Gringuito sauce is a flavor fiesta in a bottle. And you talk about your circle of influence, and I'll just tell this quick story, which for me is never a quick story. I'm even though I'm pale, I'm always on Latino time, so this is gonna go a little slow. But we in the summer of 2020, we had produced a bunch of virtual concepts and turned our 7,000 person DCBX 12th year festival into a virtual event. And I got a call from one of our former team members, Juanita, who moved on to other things. And she worked at Food Network for many years as a marketing consultant. And for all those grindpreneurs, you gotta kind of know who your circle of influence is. And I'll say this.
Right.
When Juanita first joined DCBX, she was helping with the setup crew, which is like setting up dance floors, decorations, stuff like that. It wasn't until like 2 years later in a team meeting that we just were chatting, and she's like, oh yeah, I was a marketing consultant for Food Network. And I'm just like, hey, we're trying to do this outdoor food festival. Why are you setting up dance floors? It's like, yeah, these, and you kind of need muscle to do the muscle things, and everyone has a gift. But make a long story short, we kept in contact, and in the summer she said, hey, you have to meet my buddy Dave in Falls Church. He has a store called Disturbingly Delicious Foods, and he's produced, this guy is literally a food scientist. He has like 80 or 90 healthy sauces, hot sauces, he does it all. So I went there, I brought a couple samples of my sauces, and
Whoa. You were already making your own sauces?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I had, for the last 3 years, let's rewind. About 3 to 4 years ago, my buddy Pat, I was at his house. He's like, hey, try my hot sauce. I'm a sauce guy, but I wasn't a hot sauce guy. So when I cook, we have a Facebook group called Almost a Chef. So the concept of Almost a Chef is like, I'm not a real chef, but I will take shortcuts to make something that is, I don't have time to make an entire sauce from scratch, but I can use little tricks of the trade to get me where
you're not steeping your jalapenos for 4 days and
Exactly, right? So, using those little magic tricks to get things done. So, make a long story short, my buddy Pat, he had this hot sauce and it was incredible. So I said, hey, Pat, can you just give me an idea of the recipe so I know where to roll things out with. So he was like 50 habaneros and cilantro. So when I started kind of playing with flavors, because when I cook, I don't really measure. I'm not a measuring guy. I have become a measuring guy per standards of the FDA. But like a magic trick or an event, the creative element kind of happens. It's like an artist, right? You have your palette, you know what you want to paint, but in the moment, the way it happens is, you need that authenticity of creativity, right?
All right, so you're at Pat's house. Pat says, "Try my sauce."
Yeah, like 4 years ago, he's like, "Try my sauce." I'm like, "Your sauce is good, it's spicy, real super spicy." So then I went home and I started, kind of playing with flavors. And then the first sauce I did.
Now, did Pat's sauce make you think to yourself? Were you trying to do you think like I could do this? And were you trying to like pick out what flavors he had in his sauce? And
well, this was 3 to 4 years ago, where we were so busy doing live events.
Oh,
The concept of coming up with something like this was not even there, but it was actually being built unknowingly, right? So Pat gave me the basic concept of like, hey, like habanero, vinegar, cilantro, boom, boom, boom. For me, the problem with the sauce, even though it was incredible, was it needed something to sweeten it up. So when I was making my rendition, I added mango, and I came up with something different. And then for like 2 years, I was giving that out for like Christmas presents, literally holiday presents, just to like friends, I made coquito before, which is like a Puerto Rican rum.
That's what I was going to say. So you're the hot sauce, you were kind of giving out like a coquito. So you get your coquito and your hot sauce at Lee's house.
Yeah, exactly. And what my wife, she took my Bitmoji, and she literally, there's some hilarious Bitmojis where it's like a devil that's like kind of like, it's super flamboyant but great. So that was like the sticker of the hot sauce, and we gave that out as gifts. So last year I had this idea to do a cranberry. I'm like, I want to create a holiday hot sauce, because all the sauces I ever did, I did a cilantro habanero sauce, and then I did a peach reaper sauce that was kind of like a mustard yellow. And I'm like, when will I ever make a sauce that's red? Like, I wanted a red hot sauce, right? And so basically, I bought all this stuff like 2 years ago, actually last year. And I had the cranberries, I had the recipe, and I got so busy I never made it. It just sat there. So fast forward 2020, Juanita's like, come see my friend Dave. I basically was like, you know what, if I'm gonna go meet this guy, let me whip up. So I made a pineapple hot sauce, which was like a pineapple jalapeno fusion. I had my cilantro hot sauce, which is basically the cilantro mango fusion. And I went there, and Dave tried them. He was like, these are super, they're really nice flavor. And he basically said, look, I always plan on being a co-packer, but no one is ever serious to get things done. And I said, look, Dave, like, you met, like, if you give us the green light, we will do it. And Dave, almost on a dare, was like, all right, you want my kitchen? You can have the kitchen, and you can make the sauce.
That's even the thing about the grandpreneur life is like Dave was waiting for you. He's gone through people, but he's looking for someone like you that has enough gumption that will go out and do this stuff.
Yeah, and we went in there, and at first it was like, we're gonna make one sauce, and we ended up making 4. Which was crazy.
When you went in with Dave, was this going to be your red sauce? Like, was that the idea, you were going to make the red hot sauce?
So I was nervous about that sauce because I never actually made it. And one thing that I learned, and it was myself, it was my wife Kat, and it was our director of communications from DCBX, Randy. We were like the hot sauce dream team. We're working on kind of a documentary called like making the sauce, or like saucing it up, because we documented
is the hot sauce drink team gonna come around the corner like the white stuff with spacesuits on and slow mo? Like you
Yeah, like the sauce team just kind of coming through. I mean, that's the one thing. Any industry, like when we started our dance festival, we did it all. The marketing. I would DJ. Kat and I would teach classes. We would pick up the artists. We would do every piece of that festival, which has like 200 identifiable jobs that should be done by like 100 qualified people.
but people never see the behind the scenes stuff. They see the results, they see the sausage, but they never want to know how the sausage is made, man.
Exactly. So the hot sauce for us, since it was a new industry, we knew the marketing was going to be incredible because it's what we do. You know, even though surprisingly we marketed it in a way that I don't think any other hot sauce has ever been marketed. But all right, so let's fast forward to the story. So it's August. Dave is like, you can use my commercial kitchen and we'll figure it out later. And this is a huge opportunity because at the end of the day, Dave's kettle is 30 gallons, right? So that kettle at Distributed Distillers Foods, 30 gallons of hot sauce will produce somewhere with about 5% of waste between 50 to 60 cases times 12, 12 5-ounce
bottles, cases.
Cases. So we're talking somewhere between 600 to 800 bottles at 30 gallons. The only other option is you could rent a commercial kitchen without knowing anything. You know, Dave gave us a gift, and it was the gift of his knowledge and him wanting to see if he can have a co-packer produce something. And no one ever followed through, and we followed through. But the other option, the least you can do is 80 gallons. And those 80 gallons, literally you send your recipe and then basically they send back 80 gallons with the bottles, with the labels, all ready to go. So first sauce we do. Now I'm going to show you 2 bottles.
Come on, bring those sauces up. Let's see those sauces. Let's see those sauces.
Okay, so that sauce right there is pineapplito. Okay, this is a pineapple habanero fusion, and then this right here is Triple G. Okay, Triple G is a garlic glaze. Triple G was a mistake, and the first sauce we made was something we didn't even know we were creating. So for anyone that ever has or is interested in doing food production, you know, most people are gonna mix what they're making in a Vitamix or something equivalent. So you're talking about 64 ounces, right? Which as a bartender and sugar room, 64 ounces is like your magic number, you know, mixing cocktails out there, right?
Yeah, even when we make even when we used to make, even at the restaurants, we used to make mole, right? It was in that industrial Vitamix, you know?
Exactly. So that industrial Vitamix, right? So pineapplito in that Vitamix has basically the breakdown. When you take that 64 ounces to 30 gallons, we were at about 110 pounds of pineapple, about 16.8 pounds of garlic, 11 gallons of vinegar, and I don't want to give our whole recipe, but you know, you can kind of get the idea. We go through the whole process. We're super excited. It's like our first sauce, you know, and there's no, you know, you can taste it, but once it's in, that's it. I mean, and per the recipes, they need to be approved. Every state has a regulatory board. Right. If you have a sauce that is acidic, meaning that it has a pH, I believe it's under 3.5, but don't quote me on that. Then it's considered an acidic food, which has a shelf life of up to 2 years. Make a long story short, I take a sip of this sauce and it is like a garlic bomb, right? And I love garlic, but we were making a pineapple hot sauce. So the very first sauce, yeah, the very first sauce was, you know, you can look at it as a failure or you can look at it as an opportunity. And I'm like, we have 55 cases of something that we need to sell. So we came up with Triple G, which is Gringuito garlic glaze. And it's basically an incredible garlic infused hot sauce. And what we realized was we had to cut the garlic by about 75%.
Wow.
So
But
there's other three
you
sauces.
only learned that by going through it. You
Yeah.
had to go through it to figure that out.
Pineapplito and Triple G, the only difference is about this guy has about 75% less garlic. On your palate, and Corey, you have the hot sauces, the pineapple is forward on the Pineapplito, and the Triple G it is definitely a garlic glaze.
So did you
The
make
next
the
one,
red sauce? Did you make the red sauce?
we made the red sauce, and this is a fan favorite. So this is Cranny Granny Cranbanero. It's a cranberry, strawberry, habanero fusion with organic honey. And Cranny Granny, so one of the things that's interesting, our marketing director is like, we had all the marketing done before the sauces were made. Just like we produce a festival. You produce a concept of what you're going to create before you create it, and then you deliver. And then once you deliver, people are like, they have this incredible event.
Yeah, because you're almost
So,
you almost like you reverse engineered it. Like you knew the end game. You just had to get back to square one.
Exactly. So we were like, on the marketing side, we were like Gringuito sauce, a flavor fiesta in a bottle, taking that same element of fun and creativity that we have at DCBX and putting it in a bottle. And then Randy Gaffner, our director of marketing, our director of communications, I should say, we were talking and I was like, hey, I made these characters. So every hot sauce has a character. So
Right.
we have Cranny Granny on the hot sauce. So then Randy says, well, why don't we make puppets? So I want to introduce you. So this is Cranny Granny. I need a drink. And well, Corey will help you. Yeah, I need a cigarette. Yeah, calm down, Cranny, calm down. Yeah, so Cranny is basically the first hot sauce puppet ever created.
She's a hot mama. She's a hot mama.
She's a hot mama. Yeah, come give it to me, Granny. She is a little dirty. She's a little dirty, but she is kind of a combination. She reminds, my grandmother was super funny, had this raspy voice, and it's just like that grandmother that is, the concept is a flavor fiesta in a bottle, but Cranny Granny's concept is basically it's a holiday. It's always a holiday when you're at Cranny Granny. So you want to say goodbye, Cranny Granny? Bye-bye, everyone. Okay, we love you, Cranny. All right.
That is so great, man. Yeah. Dude, could you imagine if we were up and running and you were, I don't know if you would have birthed this. You would have birthed it at some point. But imagine when we were full up and running and you're selling your hot sauce. Oh my God, man. At all your events all over the world. You're selling your hot sauce all over the world.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's we just think of the opportunities once things open up, obviously having a hot sauce and a Latin dance festival go hand in hand. I'll be very honest with you, Corey. This, as crazy as it is, this is 5 ounces, right?
Right.
And Kat and I were having this conversation. I honestly feel like our 30 years of experience as entrepreneurs, as entertainmentpreneurs, 30 years is captured in this 5 ounces.
Right.
And it's powerful because
all your mistakes, all your failures, all your success, all your connections, all the people that backstabbed you, all the money you made, all the money you lost, it's all inside that bottle, right?
Yeah, it's all in the bottle, and we're so proud of it, and especially during a time, especially with COVID, this is such an interesting time, and you look back, it's like if you're not having a party and you can't be out, the closest thing to that party is going to be at that kitchen table, right? Being, connecting with your pod or your family, popping open a bottle of Gringuito sauce and celebrating food, adding it. And we need to talk because we want to work on a Cranny Granny Cosmo,
Yeah, you
which
can
will
say it. Yeah.
basically.
Lee, so there's
Yeah.
something I say all the time, man. I don't know if you've ever heard me say this, but I always say that good food, good music, and good drinks, that's a party anywhere, brother. Anywhere on the planet. You can,
Exactly.
they literally built Vegas with the entire concept of food, drinks, music. That's it. It's just entertainment.
And they're doing pretty well. I don't. Last but not least, which was the very first sauce we created. This is cilantro Sancho, and
Yeah, is
and
that the
cilantro.
marinade? Is that the marinade?
No, the marinade is triple G.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
use one.
is the
I use one.
is the
I
garlic
use one on
glaze.
some chicken.
Yeah, but cilantro Sancho is the cilantro habanero sauce, and the term Sancho is very funny. It actually in Mexican, Puerto Rican, South American slang, a Sancho is basically like, hey, you have to take care of your wife or your girlfriend, or the Sancho will come in the middle of the night and take her away.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of cilantro Sancho is like he's a lady lover and he's gonna steal your taste buds. So one of the other things that we're trying to do with the hot sauces is you have the taste and the flavor, which is the most important thing. But we're the first hot sauce in the world. I believe that you have the comedy aspect. These puppets. You have cilantro Sancho. We have a TikTok at Shake That Up, which is hilarious. But we also have Latin dance lessons, so people can learn how to Latin dance. And ultimately, we're just bringing this back into the industry that we have. What are the two common denominators that people, I don't care where you are in the world, there are two things that Latin culture, I believe, do better than any other thing, being food and music. To me, there's no other culture in the world that has such a stronghold on in current day pop culture, Latin music and Latin food. I don't care where you are, and Kat and I have done events in 800 cities worldwide. 600 of them have been in the US. You can be in the most podunk town in this country, you will find a Mexican restaurant. I don't care where you are, there's a Mexican restaurant. And you can turn on any channel, you're gonna find Latin music. So how can we grow DCBX? Well, we can grow it by connecting people to the denominator, which is food. And we're very excited about Gringuito sauce. We have some conversations about getting Gringuito sauce in all the local giants in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. So
yeah, so what's the worldwide, give us the scoop, what's the worldwide domination plan for Gringuito sauce?
Well, I mean, we're hoping one day we're gonna get that big, worldwide Costco order. But at the moment we are focusing on the marketing, on getting it into a smaller retail. We're selling it on ShakeThatUp.com and ShakeThatSauceUp.com, and really just trying to get people excited about creating a flavor fiesta. The one thing I will say that's incredibly hilarious is we did all the marketing, and this is a good or a bad thing. We did not do really any industry data studying, meaning like we
Right.
didn't I was like, I didn't look at what the other hot sauce companies are doing.
They give you all the demographics of hot sauce and the age ranges and the flavor wheel of the hot sauce. And
yeah, I mean, we didn't look at that because we, you know, with COVID, it was just like, and the opportunity we had with extremely delicious foods, it was like being on a locomotive that was going straight. And there was no time to look. It was just like move forward. After we produced all the hot sauces, all the branding, at that point, one night after a couple of drinks, I'm like, huh, maybe we should see what other hot sauce people are doing.
But that brings up a very good point, because a lot of people, whether it be the hot sauce, whether it be sugar and bar, whether it be someone has a dream, like you didn't, even though it was 2 years, you didn't just, once you got the ball rolling, you just took off, right? You just took off, started running. You're not looking left, you're not looking right, you're just full steam ahead, right?
We were going ahead and we were pushing ahead. But when we started looking at some of these hot sauce, I mean, you know, Kat and I love hot sauce. We were in Thailand, did some food classes and really learned about Thai chilies. And, you know, we love the Tabascos, the Cholulas, you know, but like, I'm not going to lie and say like we buy artisan hot sauces. So anyway, we started Google searching like hot sauce clubs. We started joining Facebook groups that were like hot sauce lovers. And we started realizing
there's a whole underbelly of hot sauce. There's a whole subculture of hot sauce out there.
Hot sauce culture is so interesting, but we realize it's not our market because all those people want is pain. They want they want, like, it's like a battle of pain.
They want ghost peppers, man. They want the pain. On the chart when it says nuclear, they want nuclear, right?
Yeah, they want the school, what they call the Scoville chart, which, by the way, I was like, oh, we can get the Scoville meter to check our hot sauces. That device is $7,000. I'm like, nope. But when we went and Google search, like you're people that like hot sauce, you know, you go on those clubs, all those hot sauces, all the branding, it's all painful. It's colon cleanser, burn your ass. It's always something that makes me think, wow, where is the market? And what we think we've cornered is a new market. And that market is for people that want flavor with a little bit of spice. And you've tried the hot sauces. I mean, everyone's palate is different. They have a kick.
They're very good, I tell you. They're great.
Yeah, but you know, to me, flavor is the most important thing. Having spice is important as well. So we call these flavor fusion sauces. They're hot, but you're gonna get flavor. And for us, eating a sauce that's gonna kill your palate, or 9 out of 10 people are gonna think it's too spicy, you're gonna sell to the one. But the other 9 people, that's where the market is. And we really think we can see Gringuito sauce as a worldwide brand. And you know, I think our marketing, it's basically the first time in the world. I mean, we have a puppet, and we're gonna have 4 puppets, 4 of them. Every hot sauce has a puppet. So Pineapplito is gonna be done in about 2 weeks. So that's pretty exciting.
So where can people find, if they wanted to grab some Gringuito sauce, where can they grab some sauce at?
So right now, they can find us at Dangerously Delicious Foods in Falls Church. They can find us on our website at shakethatsauceup.com. And hopefully by February, we will be in all of the local Giants in the local food section. And if anyone from Giant is watching this and is going to make that decision, I've already promoted it. Funny enough, we actually have had Giant as a sponsor of DCBX. So I'm hoping once we get into these conversations, you know, we'll be able to push it through. And you know, it's like, you know, from heating up the Latin dance floor to spicing up your kitchen, Giant supports local entrepreneurs. I mean, who doesn't want to be part of that story?
Dude, and just imagine, you know, Giant's really big with like Hispanic Heritage Month, man. Can you imagine like your hot sauce and on the table, it's, you know, spicing up things?
We're excited. I mean, we have a worldwide deal with Flirting on the Floor, which is our Latin dance course with Hard Rock Cafes. So there's 22 Hard Rock Cafes that are open in the U.S. and I think 15 or 20 in Europe. So anyone that does carry out Valentine's Day weekend is gonna get our Flirting on the Floor Latin dance course, which is a sponsorship with Hard Rock Cafe. So I'm hoping if that goes well, we can convince them for Cinco de Mayo, that people will get a bottle of Gringuito sauce. But it's always one project at a time. Deliver. And for any of those grindpreneurs, and Corey, you know this, it's all about delivering above the expectations of the client, finishing that project, and then pitch in the next one. You can't give too much before you deliver. Yeah.
Believe me, man, if there's anybody out there that can make it happen, brother, you're the one that's gonna make it happen. I mean, look how far, how much look at all the things you've done to get to where you are now. So there's no turning back. There's no turning back now. It's full steam ahead, man.
Yeah, there's no turning back. I can say, Kat, we couldn't be on the interview today, but it's hard. It's hard to do everything by yourself. You have to figure out what your gift is, and I have creative elements, but organization, figuring out those other pieces of the puzzle. You need to build a team, and Gringuito sauce would have never happened without the time, effort, and energy we put in building our other brand, which really had nothing to do with hot sauce. It was a Latin dance event. So that circle of influence for any of those grindpreneurs that are looking to push forward, always keep your eyes open, right? You're looking ahead, but sometimes you have to kind of look in that circle to see who is in your circle. And if it's not the right people, build a new circle.
Yeah,
Could
you imagine 8-10 years ago when we were just doing events and we didn't think 10 years later we'd be making YouTube videos and interviewing each other about hot sauce?
It's crazy how time goes by so quick. We're all hustling, we're all pushing forward, but I think the main thing is we are looking for one thing, and that's to have more time to do the things we love. And money buys time. I mean, that at the end of the day, I think, for the rich that do it smart, you can build, but think about it. When you're born into money and you have everything, you look at all these artists, Michael Jackson, I mean, the amount of artists that had everything and let it all go due to drugs and all that. It's just having the money isn't always what it's all about. It's about the time and what you do, how you use that, how you give back. So that's what we're that's what we're about. How can we give back to people, let them have some fun, and like we were talking before, Corey, right? Like that pebble, that DCBX pebble, that Gringuito sauce pebble. When you throw it across the pond, it doesn't just sink; it hits, and that ripple goes across, and it affects people in ways you don't know. So
yeah, man. Well, look, man, I appreciate you jumping on here, man. I appreciate you spending your time. Where can they find you? What kind of outlets? Where can they get you on social media?
So, Gringuito sauce, again, you can go to shakethatUp.com and check out the hot sauces, support a small business. I can say we're so proud of this project. You can also follow us on TikTok at Shake That Up, and we're also on Instagram at
you guys created the Instagram page, right? I think I saw an Instagram page for Shake It Up, right?
Yep, Instagram is at Shake That Sauce Up.
And they're gonna see a wild hair flaming guy on the logos, right?
Oh yeah, you're gonna find the crazy guy, and there's some hilarious videos with the different characters. So we want to bring some fun to the hot sauce industry, and we know the big boys and girls that have the big sauces are going to be like, man, this little sauce is doing some incredible marketing and brought something that's going to last a long time to the market. So Corey, thank you so much. Shout outs to Sugar Rim. We gotta do the crazy Valentine's Day flirting on the floor,
Yes.
Gringuito hot sauce, Sugar Rim bar promo deal where they're going to be able to wine and dine their loved ones safely during COVID-19.
All right, man. Well, thank you for your time, brother. I will see you on the next video.
All right, sounds good.